playing for Shopify Rebellion, hailing from Korea. Here, in the bottom left hand corner of Inside and Out, the blue Terran is currently spawning. A legendary Micro Jackson himself, or better known as Byun. His opponent, playing for Alpha X instead, here in the top right hand corner, is the Red Zerg. Top 6 GSL finisher last season. Well, this season. It's RAGNAROK. With, of course, who am I kidding here? 16 pool. It was also a guess into pool. Huh. And this was also his map choice, so it does feel like he has a clear idea in mind on what to do. When you see this kind of pool first, you usually see the pool being started before the gas. But over here you want to see these instant metabolic boost out of Ragnarok very early on into the game. It's gonna be only the 4 links, not the usual 6 you see most of the times. Cancel overload. Queen's already being started. Byun will see the timing out of these hatchery, would be a little bit concerned about the lanes moving out. Ragnarok not looking for that. We're getting into the high ground. Clutch save onto the drone, and the river will just go into safety. Ragnarok completely stopped getting Vespine right now. Not really concerned with getting any other tech right now. Which makes a decent amount of sense. But Ragnarok is always that kind of player who can go like 10 million lings in your base just because. Oh. But we'll get a single more ling before sacrificing itself for the cause. These the free circling skin is always hilarious to me. Like, look at them wings. Why are their wings bigger than their body? It's so weird. Third archery comes up for Ragnarok. You can see he really did never stop getting drones out. Now he's starting to go back into Vespine as well. He's just a weird opener, but very standard overall from Ragnarok. While we see Byun going for one of his most usual builds, I shall say, which is 1-1 command center and then maybe a starport. And yeah, that's the reason why I say maybe, because Byun right now is dropping down 2 more Rex. He just lost to go 3rd command center before starport, or before even 3rd production facility. Like, let's not even say starport, which is an optional for Byun most of the times. Tons of aliens trying to work around the crit teamers. The Ragnarok is spreading around, trying to maybe sometimes find a snipe. Or maybe even a way into the mineral lines. Which is not gonna happen right now. Ragnarok advancing to the 2nd stage of his deck, with the lair halfway through. The Baneling has been dropped, of course, to get the Baneling speed just when he needs it. Creep spread looking decent as well. And I finally love to see Zerg players actually expanding over here on the left side. For, god, how long was it? On the inside and out, every single Zerg player was expanding here first, as a third base, and I always find it really bad. This is such a hard base to defend against Terran. If Terran goes for a timing attack early on, this is so insanely complicated to defend. Which I talked to some Zerg players and they said, yeah, that's exactly why I want to take it as my third. I want to stabilize there. But what if your opponent plays uber aggressive? And most of them just said, well, then it's up to Micro. But why Micro in a worse position? So it's interesting. It's a clash of ideas, but I just think overall it's a little bit better to take the other base. Just so much easier to defend. And RAGNAROK looked like he picked me up on this. Cryptumers will lay eggs. And two of them will be sniped down by Byun. Oh, RAGNAROK finding a little bit of a run by over here. So a little bit too many links. I'm gonna commit onto that. He's gonna start to connect to these recruit tumors from the archery. While RAGNAROK is getting a couple key upgrades, namely Baneling speed and Older speed. Over here in the middle, the Leans and the Banelings will intercept quite a lot of Marines that were moving out for Byun. Creep spread doing dream work for the Zerg player, being able to defend it so proficiently so far. And even expanding over here in the bottom, well, in the top left-hand corner, sorry. On the low ground though. Which again, I do love to see that. I feel that is an easier base to defend than this one. It's not by that much, but yeah, side blockers are just a deal breaker for Zerg. Byun trying to spread his army thin a little bit, trying to hit on multiple places at once. RAGNAROK breaking down rocks to ensure his army can navigate through the map a little bit easily. Well, easier, I shall say. A couple crit teamers will be sniped at last. Byun finds a way to stop the crazy expanse that he's had so far. Session beating coming +2/+2, RAGNAROK keeping up on upgrades with his opponents. Byun dancing around side blockers and rocks alike, but oh my god, that's so many Banelings, that's so many Banelings, that's so many Banelings! They will only find Marines. We'll find a lot of Marines though. RAGNAROK run by, will not find damage. A couple Queens will be stranded in the middle of nowhere. Will be saved by Leans. Getting to their rescue. The Hive is incoming, but Byun has other plans. Sending 2 Medivacs in, ready to strike. There's a couple sport coolers over here for defense. But as you can see, not enough to stop these Marines from dropping down the low ground and getting a couple kills. A couple Banelings will sacrifice their lives for the greater cause. This Medivac is very bruised. Oh, does he go down? It's so close to going down. Marines will sacrifice to ensure it stays alive, but then another Queen chimes in and gets the kill. And maybe inject this base. Right, RAGNAROK? Go on. Go on. Come on, man. Inject. Good boy. RAGNAROK not breaking down these rocks. A little bit of a mistake. If I have a say on this. It does, like look at this defense. It does make it a lot worse, especially with Widowmines being part of it. And now it's a little bit too late. It looks like Byun is gonna be the one breaking down those rocks to try and maneuver around the army of RAGNAROK, especially with so many Banelings being out. But honestly, it does feel like RAGNAROK would be happy about this. There's no way he's not happy about those rocks being broken. Widowmines are gonna be spreading around. You can see Ragnarok actually caressing the idea of getting a big flank. It doesn't really look like Byun is looking too aggressive over here, just retreating back home. But Ragnarok is actually trying to find a way in. He's on Hive Tech right now, Adrenaline Glands is incoming, Burrow is about to be finished. And his transition into Lurk Attack is probably in the next step of this game. Good spines for the Hydras are really going to be the biggest of the deals. You can see lots of lanes actually dying, not many Marines. Widowmine's not really cutting it over here. Probably too many Marines will sacrifice. These rocks are gonna be broken just exactly while Ragnarok was preparing the flank. These are Adrenaline Glands lanes in just 5 seconds. But they will die before seeing that moment. Crackling's time, +3/+3, is about to be completed for Byun. But it just started right now for Ragnarok, who's also gonna try to get a full surround onto this army. You can see, either their Cracklings are just gonna melt down everything they find. Vipers are up in the skies as well, looking for Abducts, Blinding Clouds, whatever they can find. The Widowmines will not get the drone shots that Byun was looking for. The Blinding Clouds will stop these Marines from ever getting into a good position. Beautiful Blinding Clouds by Ragnarok. Perfect Viper control, even without units to abduct. These Vipers are still so valuable, and now 24 lanes, SCVs are gonna fall down. And even more, over here, 27 total. Byun will try to bite back over here with a few units, but just never gonna find the damage he was looking for. Very nice play by Ragnarok, finding a ton of damage and now finding a stranded units over here in the left. The Widowmines were able to stop Ragnarok on its tracks multiple times. Otherwise, we'll be looking at a very different game. Or maybe we'd be looking at a victory screen, I don't know. So many lanes and banelings have been killed by those Widowmines spread around. Sorry. And Ragnarok still is able to find damage left and right, spreading his army thin and still able to win fights on multiple locations. He's a master of this lane bane style in the late game. Widowmine right now on cooldown. The Overseers will see it. Burrowed over there in the middle. A scan forward will ensure Byun that there's not a lot. Oh no, oh my god. Oh, the Lings are trying to bait the Widowmine shot, they're just not really finding the way. Meanwhile, over here on the top left, base was sniped, I don't know when. Ragnarok is now trying to retake it as he's trying to stop again this base from Byun from going up. Very undefended, but right now tons and tons of units out of Byun are gonna go ahead and get us around. These drones are marching into a dangerous position for some reason. Ragnarok getting into Spire Tech. 35 buildings incoming. Still to the building count. Oh wow, it's gonna be more than 80. Wow, that's a lot of banelings. The Widowmine will get a beautiful shot. Over here, the baneling run by will get 2 more SCVs killed. +3 plus. Oh my god, so many Widowmines, so close to get some dream shots. It's not as good as Byun wanted, but still good enough to keep Ragnarok out of the middle of the map. Great Aspire incoming. Byun really looking forward to finding some damage, but Ragnarok is slowly but steadily covering the map in creep and getting control of all the bases on his own side of the map. Byun will try to strike over here on the top right. Well, middle right, at least. But Ragnarok is already there for defend. So many Widowmines spread around in very good positions. The banelings, they need to stay very careful. Here comes a parasitic bomb. The Widowmine shots are not good enough. So many banelings are going forward. gonna chase down the army of Byun, and they're gonna absolutely annihilate it. I've seen this in the past, and I never grow tired of seeing it again. Banelings, with their full might, will destroy the army of Byun, while Ragnarok is already replacing his lost army. Byun a little bit slower on that, but he's gonna also bite back, kill 14 drones, which is lots and lots of larvae that Ragnarok badly needs after these little bit of an onslaught that we've seen. Good Spines, Muscular Augments Hydras with +1 will kill those Medivacs without taking too much time. Oh yeah, an Overload is gonna lose his life before the Hydras and the Vipers can get into business. You can see abduct into the Hydras. The Medivac will go down. Ragnarok was still able to deal a lot of damage, but Byun, somewhat finding some counter-attack damage, will stay alive in this game. Even so barely. Now trying to take control of this base in the bottom right. But Ragnarok has a say. Oh no, we don't mind shots. Doing it again. Boom. The mines are so busted. You're never gonna convince me they're not busted. It's so hard to play against Widowmines as a Zerg player, especially when they're spreading so many tactical positions on a map that really brings the best out of Widowmines, such as Inside and Out. Like, having Widowmines spread around covers so many locations at once, and here, again, like another dream shot. Ragnarok is not maxed out right now. It doesn't really have a lot of larvae. Well, never mind. I was a little bit more focused over here, destroying this base. It was an important base for Byun, but he's also retaking this one on the left, so it's damage, but it's nothing too crazy. The Liberator will not find as much damage as probably Byun wanted, but it is also gonna take a lot of attention away from where it truly matters for him, which is of course this base over here, right now being saturated. Ragnarok spreading his army left and right, not really looking forward to go for the finishing strike. He's at the Greater Spire for a while right now, and I yet to see a single Corruptor lie in the sky. Yet again, Ragnarok finds another one of these crazy run-bys he's been finding throughout the whole game. And why is he... Okay, it lifts up just at the right moment, and it will be repaired. The scanner gets popped. The two Lings will be killed, but right now Ragnarok finds the opportunity to strike over here on the left. The Ghost will cut backwards, but these Banelings, while marching forward, will be killed by Widowmines, but not before another batch of them just detonates onto that planetary fortress and absolutely annihilates it. Ragnarok finds another kill on another base. Byun has been recovering from this. His army is just crazy good right now. So he's also trying to spread himself in around and trying to get some counter-attack damage. His Widowmine's absolutely MVP so far. Yet again, another Widowmine is ready to stop the army of Ragnarok from chasing down. And here goes his Knights. Yeah, these Widowmines are just crazy good. Another 2 Knights, 5 Banelings, dying without ever doing anything. But here comes another move forward. Oh my goodness, these Widowmines. Yet again, another dream shot onto so many Banelings, which will never find a way to detonate onto the bio army of Byun. It does look like Byun is gonna lose another base, or at least another good amount of workers, while Ragnarok has a crazy good economy. But Byun has been building up so much army so far. And it's not looking like Ragnarok is doing that mighty fine. He lost a lot of his own army. And this base might be sacked actually. Blinding Clouds looking perfect, allowing enough time for Ragnarok to send easy reinforcements. Banelings, Lings, and whatever he can find are doing the job. These ghosts are right now hiding in the shadows. You need an overseer over here, buddy. Ragnarok, where's your overseer at? Oh, he's trying to go up over here, but yeah. The Viper is also getting into very dangerous business over here. RAGNAROK finds another run by, kills so many workers yet again. There's not a lot of workers out there for Byun. It does feel like finally RAGNAROK has found a way to bite back in full might. The Hydras are chasing these Medivacs around. They will not find the full Medivacs, but these ghosts are still not enough to fight a full army. Byun trying to take the base over here on the right. It'll be greeted by one single Hydra, like hiding below the ground. Giving enough vision to RAGNAROK to move just where it hurts the most. This is probably gonna be the last bastion of defense for Byun. He needs to defend over here. The Widowmines are in very good position, but they will also get so much friendly fire. And once the Banelings chime in, it's gonna be hell for the Terran to defend against it. He will defend. His loyal ghosts still alive, but they're truly everything that stands between RAGNAROK and victory right now. 17 SCVs that died here, I think. I don't... Oh, Widowmine drops. Yeah, of course. How many things did this Widowmine kill throughout this game? His factory is slowly burning down to ashes. No mule or SCV been put into work over here to keep this factory alive. Not the biggest of deals right now. Byun is not really starved for economy. RAGNAROK kind of is. Still, that Great Aspire did absolutely nothing this game, which is unfortunate. Widowmine being spread around over here on this high ground will make life very complicated for RAGNAROK. But over here he wants to find another fight. The Widowmine shots just always cut the deal for Byun, retreating in between this line of Widowmines. The EMP does not hit over the Vipers. The Vipers are still up there, still looking for the opportunity to strike 16 more SCVs. Half of the economy of Byun will melt down in acid. But RAGNAROK still has to find the real finishing blow onto his opponent. Byun standing by a thread right now. The Buggers are marching forward. They will get the Abducts. They will get the Blinding Clouds. The Abducts onto these ghosts. Not before they hide in the shadows and stay alive. Still hanging by a thread. Byun not really looking strong, not really looking in the possibility to bite back. His army is so strong, but he needs to stay so careful. Losing any more command center, any more workers will lead to a slow and painful death. Scan forward. We'll ensure there's no army over here. The Leans will not be able to find any more kills. Mules still granting Byun a small advantage in the income department. But only because RAGNAROK has been basically mining out everything he has. He has 43 workers over here. It's a lot of workers. Lurker then finally going up. That's also a tech I would have loved to see a little while back. It's not like this is not working, but oh, Widowmine shots. Okay, this wasn't as great as it was looking to be. RAGNAROK trying to finally make something out of this 3k Vespene gas he has in the bank. And Lurkers seem like a very good idea. Like, not because they can just do something against these many ghosts, but just because they get their attention mostly. Over here these links will just force a lift, kill 5 more SCVs. But mostly just forcing the army of Byun on that side of the map will mean that this base over here will be saturated. And it doesn't really look like Byun will be able to strike here anytime soon. RAGNAROK is getting control of the high ground, he's spreading creep in this direction. 8 lurkers incoming, it's gonna be very hard for Byun to break through this. Oh, but RAGNAROK still needs a little bit of time. Byun might find a very good moment to strike right now. The queens though make it very complicated for Byun to move forward, and now that the lurkers are out, a scan will be popped and so many snipes will go on down at once. So many lurkers will die without ever doing anything, especially without seismic spikes. The blinding clouds will be dropped down and so will the abduct into the meat grinder that these lurkers are. Here comes more and more snipes. Byun will be probably finding the game over here. Oh my goodness. It does feel like we're probably never gonna get a game like game number 1 in this series. I do know RAGNAROK playstyle. And he's not the kind of player who goes like, oh, I lost in a huge macro game that lasted 25 minutes. Let's go in for another. No, man, he's just gonna rush you down. If he finds a good moment to rush you down, he will. That's the kind of player RAGNAROK is. Uber aggression is the name of his game. And he was showing that in game number 1. He just never was able to find the finishing blow. And it's such a deadly thing against Byun. Byun is the uncontested king of comebacks in this matchup. I've seen him come back from desperate situations in TVZ. I just don't know how he keeps on doing that. But he always manages to just barely stay alive, hanging by a thread, and then finding the perfect fights to end the game, especially on Ghost deck. This man is a machine on Ghosts. Reaper will dance with the links. But of course, it's not like these will mean that the Reaper will get anything too significant. It's a little bit of scouting information, a little bit of map control, and that's basically it. Second time for Widow Mines, it looks for Byun, and this time didn't go for the 3-1-1 command center before starport. Just went for a rather standard 1-1-1. We're gonna try to spread some Widow Mines around, since they worked so well for him in game number 1. And we'll definitely try to maybe keep this one for defense actually, and just go ahead with the aliens. Not a very action-packed early game as we've seen. Oh, well, never mind. Never mind. Huh. Definitely not what I was expecting. Overlords dying left and right, by the way, means that RAGNAROK is gonna be heavily supply blocked. 4 Overlords are incoming, so yeah, it's not gonna be heavily supply blocked. I was lying, but it's still a lot of larva that needs to be used. 3 Spore Crawlers are gonna be made right now. Banshee Cloak will be started as well. And you can see this drop being a big threat right now for RAGNAROK, moving his army around to try and deal with it. Spore Crawler will finish it, and it means that this Medivac will not find a way in, especially with Overlords still somewhat being able to spot it. Armory is up though, so these aliens might be turning into Hellbats and start dealing some serious damage. Queens are trying to chase down this Medivac, trying to actually blindside RAGNAROK into fighting into a bad spot. The aliens will turn into Hellbats indeed, and it's time for the real attack to start for Byun. The lanes are trying to work around, the queens are spreading around, dropping transfuses on each other, and here comes the Widowmine shot that kills so many lanes. Still, Hellbats, guys. Hellbat pushes. Why does it always end up like that? Why they always do absolutely nothing? I really do not know. Are queens too strong? Maybe. Are Hellbats too weak? Possibly. But I just never find them doing anything. You slow down a little bit of creep expanse, you killed quite some links, but I don't think a single queen died. Yeah, no queen died with this. And that's honestly your biggest target as a Terran player. Like, yeah, you can see transcripts going up, and yet these Elbots still doing nothing. 2 Banshees ready to fly in. There's nothing over here. There's no Sporkler, no Overseer. That Queen is gonna be transfused. That one though. That one is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Barely saved twice. Things are gonna chase around the Elbots and these few bio units. They're gonna deal with all of them. RAGNAROK is not the kind of player who keeps these units on his loan without doing anything. He will hunt them down, even if it requires losing a little bit of tempo in the tech race. Scouting Link will see this base being saturated and well defended. Scan forward, these Banshees will start hunting some Crypt Tumors down, especially over here on the left side, where taking control of this bridge is so important. Byun is still looking for blood, still looking to move forward. This time he had a way faster Hydra than transition. +1/+1, of course, is going to be delayed by quite a fair bit to get this much tech out for RAGNAROK. Especially if you want to drop down early Hive, early Infestation Pit, and of course, the scary Lurker Den. Lanes will take short work of these tanks, while the Banelings are trying to chase these Marines forward. And an steam will be used, and the Marines will stay alive yet to fight another day. Muscular augments incoming, +1/+1, finishing for both players pretty much at the same exact time. A bit on the late side for Byun. Of course, a little bit on the late side for RAGNAROK as well, but that is a given. The kind of build he's going for. +2 melee will be started as well. Very important upgrade to try and get some strong run bias going once the bases start to stretch around a little bit more. Creep spread is absolutely amazing from RAGNAROK, by the way. He's managing to expand over here on the left side, even though Byun has been consistently scanning and killing Crypt Tumors over here on the top side. As you can see, another scan goes down, and so will so many Crypt Tumors at once. Any control of those bridges is of course really important for Terran. But you can see Byun being content with killing down Crypt Tumors, returning back to safety. Live to fight another day. We don't see the Lurker Den yet, of course. We're gonna see the Hive first. Those Lurkers need their upgrades. So the Infestation Pit is gonna lead us to a very standard 10 minutes Hive moment. Byun scanning forward, trying to get a couple more Crypt Tumors, will not manage. With a one shot, looking good, not the greatest, but still pretty damn good. Drilling close is incoming to make those Widowmines even better. Here Byun will steam forward into a little bit of a scary position, to be completely honest. These Hydras might be chasing down the Medivacs. Does look like RAGNAROK doesn't really care. His economy is crazy good, so is his army right now. So he's just gonna look for the good moment to strike. This time he doesn't want to give Byun the time to recover. So he wants to strike with more might than he did before. +2/+2. About to kick in for both players. Again, Hive and Lurker Den started exactly at the same time, 10:20. Very good timing to get that Hydra tech ongoing, especially with Adrenaline Glands being the absolute madness of an upgrade that it is. And again, looking to find some damage in different positions, but RAGNAROK is looking to just do as much as possible with his +2/+2 kicking in right now. My FPSs are going down very fast due to these Banelings detonating left and right. It will still try to chase down as much bio as possible. Oh, but the Widowmine shots will stop them on their tracks. The Hydras will try to chase down this command center, but over here, Banelings will detonate onto so much of the army of Byun at once. The Hydras are still alive, they're muscular augments, they have good spines, they're moving around over here on the top left. This run by will be cleared completely, and Ragnarok will look to strike on the balcony with full might on 2 different locations. Ragnarok, this time, it doesn't forgive. Decisive maneuver, and it takes the equalizer. I'm super curious to see how they decide to play this game. Like, the first 2 games were very similar somewhat. The only difference being that Ragnarok, in game number 2, decided not to try and spread fame and hurt Byun in multiple locations. He just decided to go all out, all in at once. And just roll through everything Byun had. In probably one of the weakest stages for him as well. Right now though, it's another game, it's another story, and it's a little bit harder to do what happened on Inside and Out first and Waterfall second here on Data C. First thing first, it's a much bigger map, especially wider, not really long, but very wide. And second thing being that there's a ton of choke points. It's hard to traverse, there's a lot of side blockers, a lot of rocks. It's not that easy to just send your army in the middle, just like you did in game number 2 for Ragnarok, and to some extent like you did in game number 1, even though Byun was able to just spread Widow Mines everywhere and make it a little bit more complicated. Well, even without those Widow Mines, it's gonna be complicated on Data C, period. And it doesn't really look like Ragnarok wants to deal with that at all. It makes a lot of sense. Like, if there's one map in which Roach Ravager is just gonna be at its best against everyone, that map is Data C. I do love these choice out of Ragnarok, especially to mix things around in an important moment in the series. I wonder if he's gonna try to play aggressive with it or not. Which I think is gonna be the case, honestly. Wanna check gas income. Just 1 Vespene geysers with 3 drones in it. Yeah, probably is not gonna go like really aggressive. He wants to be on the map with the roaches, otherwise he's just very wasted. But it's not like there's gonna be much more out of these 7 roaches than just trying to kill a supply depot, trying to force some units out for Byun. Especially with Banshees being just the natural counter to this kind of play. There's not gonna be much that Byun needs to do to defend against this. And there's not gonna be much follow-up for Ragnarok after this as well. Drones are actually retreating out of this base with Overlords and Roaches alike seeing the movements of these aliens. The Greens are gonna be in position, defend off the aliens, while the Leans are trying to chase them around, trying to get us around. The aliens will get into the middle line, actually getting quite a lot of SCV of drones down. It's gonna be a total of 6, while Roaches find their way into the mineral line as well, biting back exactly I for an eye. 6 SCVs are gonna go down, probably 7 are gonna be in a short while, maybe even more. The last few Roaches are gonna be killed one after the other by the Banshee, with Helen trying to dodge around, trying to move around to survive to find another day. 6 drones fall down, 7 SCVs fall down, but Ragnarok is still gonna be 14 workers ahead of his opponent. The +1 Carapace being started out of his Evo chamber. Exactly what I was expecting. Does look like Ragnarok has yet to make a decision about where to bring this game into. Does feel like those Roaches did exactly what they did to do, that don't really need them for more than this. The Queen goes down, and a good thing in this stage of the game. The Banshees will all survive, which is a very good thing for Byun. They will always stay a thorn in the side of Ragnarok. As you can see, even killing Pertumers is just very easy for these Banshees. Still cloaked, not for long. Oh yeah, like, that is dangerous. Ooh. It's very dangerous. Alright, both of the Banshees stay alive. And they're gonna find a way to strike back another time. It does look like for now Ragnarok is gonna try to just spread creep around, stay a little bit more defensive. His creep spread is not looking as good as it did in the previous 2 games. But his economy is very, very strong. Not really, yeah, as soon as I said it, like, whatever. I was about to say, it's not looking like he's gonna spend too much larva into units. And then he made 36 leads. Yeah, I guess those kind of things happen. This is a good moment to start making army for Ragnarok, as you can see. Very easy to compromise any move forward by Byun. Well, these lings are actually trying to go in and find even more damage. They will find a lot of damage, actually. Byun very much unprepared for this, and oh my goodness, the lings are in the wall. They will get a full-on surround. They do not have +1, unluckily for Ragnarok. Otherwise, this would have been a mid-grind. Still, so much is dying. Oh my goodness, this might be game, guys. It does look like the Z key is gonna be pressed a lot by Ragnarok right now, because the wall is down, the Banelings are getting past, the Baneling speed is not even finished, the Banshees cannot really do much, but 33 workers, 34 and counting are going down, another wall is down even on the high ground, supply depots are falling down one after the other, stopping Byun from covering up the hole in his defense. And Ragnarok is just... oh my goodness. Once this player starts pressing the Z key, you need to be really, really scared. Because, like, 35 workers at 8 minutes, yeah, that's GG to me. If there's one player that can recover from this, it's Byun, but yeah, like, no, like, who wants to do that? That's too much work. Ragnarok gets the match point. The Vespene guys are first. Huh. Here comes the spawning pool at 16. Again, this might be just defensive pool. Again, this looks similar to the build of game number 1. Actually, identical to the build of game number 1. Which doesn't really mean anything. In game number 1, Ragnarok did absolutely nothing with this. It was, like, really looking like it was just an early pool for safety to play around proxies, especially on maps such as Moondance. This can be very helpful. But I still do not think that gas pool hatch is the way to go. It feels like you're just wanting to go into pool hatch gas, I guess. But Ragnarok does Ragnarok things. And he gets that metabolic boost started just immediately as soon as the spawning pool finishes, which is also a good thing. In its own way. Like, it's not the most useful thing, but it's decent. I love the aesthetic of this map. It looks like straight out of a Mass Effect Andromeda or something. Looks really cool. Forward to see the first decisions out of Byun, especially. After all, it was his choice to go on Moondance as the 4th map of the set. Let's see how he wants to play this. For now, there's a bunch of lanes hitting at his wall. Oh! Did they go past the wall? Yeah, they will go past the wall. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, this is happening. Oh, the lanes are just not really fighting where they want to fight, are they? They will still find quite some SCVs, I mean, just a couple. They killed a lot of army. Yeah, it feels like these links could have killed more, but they're still being such a huge annoyance. Yeah, in the end only 2 SCVs die, but quite a lot of Marines did. And Byun will slow down on his trucks by quite a fair bit, while Ragnarok is just... He had those links, and he had no use for them, so... Might as well try to get something with them, and he got something. He got way more than I was expecting him to get, to be honest. Natural ends up being completely unscathed by this. Doesn't really mean much. Byun still 6 workers behind, not really with a powerful army to fight back in any significant way. They're losing so many Marines. And Ragnarok just now will start replacing his lost army to stay as safe as possible. With a Karabas being again the key upgrade he wants to get first before anything else in this game. I have to say, lovely performance so far by Ragnarok throughout the whole series. Even game number 1, like Byun did quite a miracle recovering in that game and getting the victory. Because Ragnarok has been playing quite a pristine series. Beautiful play upon beautiful play. Okay, mighty unstoppable. Not for nothing. Again, a top 6 finisher in GSL. Really being on fire lately. While Byun is taking things a little bit more slowly to recover perfectly from his physical injuries. And, of course, try to be as prepared as possible for the next few major tournaments. Again, it's an elbow push, this time even without Merivacs. Of course, Byun needed to cut some corners here and there. It looks like he wants to steam into this mineral line and he's fairly undefended, to be completely honest. A couple Banelings are being produced over here in the back, but it does feel like Ragnarok is highly underestimating the might of this. And yeah, he's gonna send his links back from the run-by he was setting up, but like right now Byun has found a very nasty spot to fight in. The Broodlings will try to get something done, another steam gets popped with the Marines going into the main. So many drones have been chased around. Yeah, Ragnarok highly underestimated this. This was deadly if Ragnarok did hit 0 army against this. And that's exactly what happened. 29 workers dead. Ragnarok is in a very bad spot right now. He's not dead, technically. Very technically. Laying for Shopify Rebellion. Here, in the bottom left-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, is a blue Terran player looking to double it up. It is Byun. His opponent in the red is smelling the finals and he doesn't want to slip away. Playing for Alpha X. Can he get it? It's Ragnarok. The 16 pool again. But this time it does feel like it's just for safety. It's a pool first. It's not a gas first. It's much, much better. Unless you need like that link speed to be done like immediately, like this is much better. You're gonna have a better spread of workers first of all. As you can see, you're gonna have your archery up a little bit earlier, meaning that your second queen will be up a little bit earlier. And yeah, you're delaying link speed by a fair bit. Like, unless you're going all out, you never need link speed too early into the game anyway, so this makes perfect sense. or large gas, as I was saying in the previous game. Much better opener out of Ragnarok this time. Well, not even like really better, just more standard. Like if it's better or not, like time will tell, I guess. For now, I do feel like that was looking just slightly worse than this. Just for lack of need of link speed. Like in the previous game, Ragnarok was able to find a lot of marines, but that was just basically it. Like right now, the 6 lanes, seeing that there's no proxying, they will hit over here, and they will deny a little bit of mining. They will never get anything else over here. Like there's 1 marine for defense. There's always 1 marine for defense. For Byun at least. Yes, we will run around for its life, but yeah, the biggest thing out of this is just this base not being mined from in these early stages of the game, and that's how you recover from the early pool delaying your own natural. It is now starting to get mined from by Ragnarok. Going ahead, trying to take a third. Things will get back into safety. Did the 1 worker die? Yes, it did. And yeah, well, what can we say, guys? For once, the standard 16 pool opener Defend of Proxies was able to actually delay the low ground for Byun for a little while. This being, I think, the 3rd time we see this build in the series in 2 different variations, with this one clearly coming out on top. You can say game number 4 was probably a good time for this build of Ragnarok to shine, the one with the gas first, but didn't really do much. Killing 2 SCVs is not enough. It's not as good as delaying mining on the low ground for this long. In the end, at least. Lanes will go around, will get the marines before the aliens can get on top of them. Very clever play by Ragnarok. Was working with very few units, but makes the most out of them. Making life hell for these aliens. No pun intended. Again, I do love seeing Zerg players starting to take this base first before this one. Again, for the exact same reason as on Inside and Out, it does feel like this is much easier to defend than the other, than its counterpart. This is not an easy base to defend at all. Oh, the aliens are diving into the mineral line. Oh no. Why does this always happen? Not a lot of drones are dying. Well, as I said, that's 7 drones going down. It's a lot. 8 and counting. These aliens always lining shots up, firing up, killing 12 drones. And now the Banshee will chime in and get a couple more kills. Oh my goodness, 13 drones. Ragnarok still has a decent economy. This Banshee is gonna go down. So have the aliens, but you cannot really afford to lose this much in this stage of the game. It's just bad. It's just bad. Banshee will not find a way in this time. Spore crawlers are being spread around, connecting the bases, preventing the Banshee from getting a clear way in over here. Its energy is also finishing, but there's 1 more drone to kill before flying away into safety. There is incoming for Ragnarok before the 4th base. Double Evo Chamber. Base is almost getting saturated with gas as well. 5 Vespene geysers being taken. Do not see the 6th one, so we can't tell this is not going to be Spire. Probably going to be... Is there a Baneling nest out somewhere? Oh, okay. Probably just gonna be Baneling speed. Double upgrade. The Evo chambers, you can see +1/+1. and just a standard follow-up for the Zerg player. It was now like paying the price of losing so many workers early on. As you can see, like kind of struggling to keep up and just being on average like even in economy with his opponent. Trying to double expand right now, which is honestly, I feel like it's a good decision. You probably cannot defend both of these. You probably have to give up one, and that's a good reason to drop two of them, to try and recover from the stage of the game in which you lost so many workers that you had to spread yourself a little bit thinner than you wanted to be. As you can see, Baneling speed is a little bit late on the book, and RAGNAROK will have to work with just lanes without even +1/+1. Still enough to keep the base alive, and actually keep both the bases alive, which is probably more than RAGNAROK was expecting at this stage. Baneling speed is about to finish Burrow, is the next piece of the puzzle. +1/+1 finishes for Byun, who's waiting for the better moment to strike. But +1/+1 is about to finish for RAGNAROK instead. The stakes are very high right now. None of these two players want to make any major mistake. Overload speed being started as well by RAGNAROK to chase things around a little bit more, but my goodness, Widowmans. It's only 6 kills, but it stops this play from RAGNAROK completely. Hydra then incoming. RAGNAROK wants to get into the Lurker Den tech. He needs that 6 Vespene Geyser. He has been taking it. Okay. To drop down the Hive and... well, the Infestation Pit and then the Hive and the Lurker Den. You need to have quite a powerful economy. And of course, to have a powerful economy, you need to have a lot of Banelings to defend it. Widowmine shot! Huh. 14 kills. We're in the bottom. It looks like Byun's focus is to clear creep tumors. RAGNAROK economy has completely recovered. His economy is amazing, but his army is just absolutely terrible right now. How many buildings does he have? First of all, 23, it's a decent amount. It's still complicated for Byun to make too much happen. But the Byun spreading his army in 2 different locations will force a lot of reactions out of RAGNAROK. Especially if it comes to drops into the main, which are definitely a possibility. Over here, Byun will keep his position over the bridge. RAGNAROK will clear some of the units that Byun was sending through there. Finally, we have a huge finish of a Larva Cycle with 30 more lanes incoming to try and even the scale over here between these two players. But for now, Byun still has such a powerful army. So hard to work against for RAGNAROK. Still so hard to find ways... oh, yes! This was one of the most satisfying Baneling mines I've ever seen. We were talking about tipping the scales, and my god, oh my... Widowmine shot doesn't really connect at its fullest, but that was close. A bit of a drop over here on the right side will be easily cleared. But a huge amount of... why isn't Byun just flying away? Yeah, he's gonna lose his full medivac for no reason at all. Over here, steam forward. Byun is trying to take control of the bridge. He will take control of the bridge, but he's not retreating towards his Widowmines. He's retreating towards a dead end. And these Banelings are just gonna always chase him down. Again, not a good fight for Byun, who's now also gonna lose something back home after RAGNAROK easily defending on that location. Oh yeah, the SCVs are just gonna be absolutely melted down by acid. And they've been so many times throughout this series. 11 SCVs going down, and now... oh. I think Byun saw that, so he shouldn't hurt as much as he did before. But Byun is not really even able to make something happen over here. These Widowmine shots are not just that great. Not in the best spot possible. Oh, that was a good Widowmine shot. 20 links fell in one swift shot. These Banelings not really finding the connections. A scan forward from Byun to ensure no more Widow Mine. No more Banelin Mine will happen. The Banelins will try to connect over the bio, will not find a way in. This Widow Mine is... oh no. Oh no! Oh no. Oh no. We've seen these happen before, guys. We've seen these happen before. This is looking so similar to game number 1. So similar. Both players losing so much. The only thing that differs is Ragnarok transitioning to lurkers much faster and actually starting to make lurkers way before ghosts are even that much of a threat. Only 4 are gonna be out on the map right now and they're being produced just as I speak. Over here, the Widowmine shot is not that great. Actually, a little bit of a betray Widowmine shot killing one of the Medivacs. And yeah, you can see Widowmine still being able to deal a lot of damage to the army of Ragnarok. Over here, Byun is able to actually not get any damage, especially with these +3 infantry weapons finishing right now. This army of Ragnarok will need to retreat. Well, I still have that Widowmine. No, why do I keep on saying Widowmine? That Banelin trap in my eyes. That was amazing. Seismic Spines about to finish, as well as Missile Attacks +1, Adrenaline Glance, again another crazy good upgrade. Adaptive Talents is going to be the next upgrade for Ragnarok and his lurkers. Yeah, all these Widowmines will get another drink shot. And its count is rising up and up. The lurkers are getting in position to try and deal with the SCPs. And of course the mid-grinder is happening. And yet again, the Banelins marching forward, forcing Byun back. 22 SCVs and counting, falling back. And there's still quite a lot of Banelins alive, ready to strike against the arm. Oh, a little bit of the Banelin trap. This time it does not work. And the Banelins do not find the connections. Ragnarok retreats back home. There will be plenty of happy with the results of this attack over here in the bottom. And 22 SCVs. But Byun, 30 workers behind, that's his comfort zone. Ooh, drop alerts incoming as well. I wonder why. Maybe Banelins or lanes in the main. Over here, Byun is trying to make something happen in a very weird position. And Ragnarok was able to just absolutely melt through that planetary. Byun is actually supply blocked quite heavily. He's gonna drop down supply depots from the skies. Now lurkers and lings alike gonna be collected by these drop alerts and ready to be dropped into the main. Byun is looking for a way to strike back. He still has a lot of army. This army is still very good. Just like in game number 1. But this time Ragnarok wants to end the game. He's looking for something a little bit more decisive than the previous times. The drop alerts will be spotted. The lurker will still drop down on the ground. Over here in the main base though, lurkers are burrowing down. Creep is being spread. The drop alerts are retreating back into safety. These lanes are still alive. The Widowmine shots were not as good as Byun wanted them to be, and now Ragnarok is striking yet another planetary fortress, destroying so many SCVs at once. Here comes the flank with the Banelins. They will not get much going, but 27 SCVs going down. That's the whole economy of Byun, basically. Less than half the income of his opponent right now, basically. 104 more lanes incoming. Ground Carapace, level 3, just being completed. And more Banelins be added to the mix by Ragnarok. Byun has to work with severe lack of economy. He still has these ghosts out, but he's gonna be fighting in a very bad position. The Widowmines will burrow down and ensure the army of Byun will stay alive over here. Lanes are still finding damage, but Ragnarok needs to avoid making the same mistake as the previous game. He needs to have his army where it matters. These Widowmines are making life hell for Ragnarok. Yet once more, the army of Byun, I've been saying this so many times, it's really strong. But these teams are basically permanent right now. There's no energy at all into... Oh, Widowmine shot! I think I've seen 20 supply going down for Ragnarok to those 2 Widowmine shots. That was crazy. And there's still more Winomines spread around. What is this game? 40 more lanes incoming. Ragnarok still unable to find a huge blow to the army of Byun that it is now just kind of adding up, trying to become even stronger. Ragnarok finds another way in with his lanes, finds a way into the natural actually, kills a couple ghosts with it. These links are just dancing around whatever they find. Ragnarok maxing out this time 3 more lurkers and a viper. But Byun's army is so strong. So many Banelings, what is this? The droplets ready to get some action going into the main of Byun. This time Ragnarok wants to strike the army of Byun and wants him to not have anything to replace his losses. The Banelings are marching forward. The Lurkers go in for the flank. And this looks like the decisive maneuver I was talking about. Ragnarok still looking for more damage. He needs more damage. The droplets are approaching the main, which is completely undefended. The army of Byun is completely off position, and one platoon of units is actually striking over here on the top. The droplets are waiting for the right moment to strike. They're waiting for the main army to move out. And it is doing exactly that right now. Ragnarok smells that this is the time to shine. There's only Medivacs in this main, and the drop alerts will make their epiphany in the main base of Byun. The production against Cracklings +3/+3. You can see it going down as fast as it possibly can. Byun needs to retreat so much to deal with this. 5 workers going down, and Ragnarok meanwhile recovering, licking his wounds, getting more and more Banelings, and maybe planning another roll forward into the main army of Byun with his Banelings. And you can see the production of Byun just going absolutely nowhere. It's not really mining, it's not really doing anything right now. You cannot really afford to lose units. There's more energy. Oh no, Freelings are still going at it. Yeah, it is absolutely GG. What a game! Ragnarok comes out on top of this series.